What's up, Toledo? What's up, world? This is DebraSue with Toledo to the World. We're going to give everybody just a few more minutes to chime in here. Just a few more minutes to chime in. We have a fantastic guest on the platform today. So I'll give everybody a few minutes to chime in so you can hear about this great story that we have today. Everybody sit tight, 60 seconds, and we will begin. All right, we are live. We are live. Welcome to the platform today, everyone. Thank you for coming back to visit Toledo to the World with DebraSue once again for another week. We appreciate each and every one of our viewers from Facebook. We appreciate each and every one of you from Instagram as well as YouTube and Roku. Welcome everyone to the platform of DebraSue. A very special guest today. His name is W.R. Franklin, and affectionately known as Wayne, but the author is known, he's known as Arthur W.R. Franklin. And he has a book entitled Urban Contemporary. Very interesting book, and I'm going to let him tell you all what it's all about. I think this is something I'd like to have all the ladies tune in. So, ladies, if you have questions, hey, Jonathan, welcome to the platform. Happy to have you. Say hello to J. Cole, Wayne.
Hey Jay, what's going on?
Very good, very good. Like for my ladies to tune in now, we're picking up some viewers here because this is an interesting subject in so many ways. Even though this book was written quite a while ago, according to my author, it's very apropos to today. You know, a lot of women are wondering what's up with the guys that seem to have everything, everything. You know, they have the intelligence, they have the financial status, but they don't have a ring on their finger. You know, 30s, 40s, we start to wonder what's wrong. And there's nothing, wrong with the sexuality or anything else. It's just it's a situation, and the ladies say it's a waiting game, and maybe it is and maybe it's not. But we're going to have our author walk us through that process with how he came up with the concept of this book. So when I thought about lining up some questions for you, I thought about society's expectations of a single man, who may be in his 30s, 40s, and we wonder, what really is the deal when he seems to have everything. He's a nice guy, no kids. At least I didn't indicate that I saw necessarily. You didn't correct me if I'm wrong on that, but he seems to have everything, but still something missing for him in his personal journey. So let's talk about what inspired you to write this story.
Well, I was I was in a very unhappy marriage. This was what 90, something like that. It's been a minute. Anyway, I married my high school sweetheart and
Mhm.
shouldn't have, and uh, I was miserable. And I wrote the story. There's a movie called Sibling Rivalry, and that's what made me write the book, because in Sibling
Mhm.
Rivalry, the lead actress had an affair,
Mhm.
and she was miserable in her marriage, had an affair. Come to find out, the person she had an affair with was her brother-in-law that she had never met, and he dies. And it's a good movie. Go check it out. But
Okay.
she was depressed, and the way that she got through her depression with everything that was going on, she wrote a book.
Mhm.
And I should try that. And I wrote Urban Contemporary by hand.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
I had a stack of legal pads like this thing.
And had you ever written before?
Okay, in high school,
Mhm.
there was there was this kid who was writing stories, but he was incorporating all of the people in our class, and I
Okay.
kept saying, "Am I going to be in your book? Am I going to be in your book?" And I had one line: Wayne Franklin was walking around the party telling dirty jokes. That was it. I was happy. I was good with the fame, and I said, "Yo, I'm going to do that." And I've been trying to do. I tried to do different things like that for the longest, and I
Yeah.
nothing ever came out. And then, you know, the whole marriage and how things were falling apart got me into writing, and I knew at that point that was what I was supposed to be doing.
You know what? I find this fascinating when you tell me that story because when we deal with folks back in the day, you married the person that you fell in love with, and You really honestly coming out of high school really didn't necessarily give it that test period before you got married, and you stay married, unfortunately, even though it tends to be an unhappy situation. And so a lot of individuals 50 and up have found themselves in that situation, and you've taken this and you've actually turned it into something positive by producing this book, right?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what, let's get into the meat of the book. Give me an idea, give me a summary of what the book is about without giving too much away, because we do want our readers to go get this book and invest in it.
Um, okay, so Urban Contemporary is a story of a DJ named Chuck DeVille, and he's the number one DJ in Washington D.C. And he has the car, and he has the job, and the fame, and the penthouse apartment, and a beautiful wife. And he meets the woman of his dreams 7 years after he's been married.
Mm.
Yeah.
How did he know this was the woman of his dreams?
Well, he's going through, he's going through it with his wife. She's materialistic and using him for money. It's all the basics. And he's doing, I need this thing to stop making noise. I'm sorry. Um, he's doing everything in his power to keep the marriage going, giving everything, and she's taking as much as she can. And
Mm-hmm.
being, like I said, he's a celebrity. He's out with his best friend who's a musician, and
Okay.
he sees this woman in the mall, and he falls immediately.
Okay.
And then finds out that she's friends with one of his friends from college, tries to get introduced, and she plays him. Like,
Wow.
because she's a fashion designer and she is focused on her work and doesn't want anything, she's trying to do her thing, and he's fallen for her, but she plays him. And so he just tries to ignore her. But circumstances um bring them together.
Okay.
um, she needs him for her job because she's also a journalist, a fashion journalist, and he dresses well. So they
Okay.
end up together, and while they're together, it kind of happens. And of course,
Okay.
after it happens, he's feeling horribly guilty because he feels this way towards this woman he just met, even though
Okay.
he's been married. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
So let me ask you this. What's the difference between a man in Chuck's situation and trying to make his marriage, seemingly trying to make his marriage work, but yet falling for another woman? How does that differ from adultery?
oh no, it was straight adultery. Yeah, no. That's where the guilt came from. Yeah, it's like that was complete and total adultery. Yeah, but
Okay.
and this is all based on true stories. I
Okay,
took
got
a
you.
license with a lot of it, but a lot of it actually did happen.
Sure,
And
sure. And it happens every day. Absolutely.
yeah,
Yeah.
and my publicist, she when she when she read it first time, she said, "Women," she said, "this is going to be a bestseller." Blah blah blah. And I was like, "Why do you say that?" He said, "Because women don't get this side. Women don't get the man's point of view. When he goes through
Yeah.
that, because a lot of times it's, well, all men are dogs and all men do this and all men do that." But she kept saying Urban Contemporary shows a different side,
Yeah.
and the other side of the story, and coming from the guy's point of view, who's not trying to be a dog, who's not trying to be um, the bad guy, who's trying to keep everybody happy and keep all the balls in the air, but he can't deny the fact that he wants to be happy too.
So then do you think that the women that in his life, there's such a contrast between one another, right? One is someone he obviously fell in love with, long time relationship with her, and then he's got this short-term relationship with a woman who seems to be everything that he needs and that he wants. But yet and still, as the book indicates, he's still missing something. Let's talk about that, because now he's kind of caught in a catch-22 where he's really still not found happiness.
Right. And that's the thing. The thing that was missing is that happiness. That's the hole in his life, that he wants
Hmm.
that part. And he thought, he thinks, well, I've got, like, people think, oh, you've got money and you've got the apartment, you've got the car, and you got the beautiful wife, and you should be happy and you should have
Hmm.
no complaints. But things are different behind the scenes, behind closed doors. Behind closed
Yeah.
doors, wife puts him down, keeps him down, um, belittles him, messes with his self-esteem, things like that. But so that's what's missing. And he wants that, and he knows he could have it with Roxanne, who is the designer, the one he meets and falls for. He knows he could have that with her, and she knows she could have that with him, but he's married, and you get that fantasy thought of, oh, he's falling in love with me, so he's going to leave her, and everything's going to be this, that, and the other, and
Right.
they're both that until it comes down to it, and he's like, I married her. I told God and a bunch of people in the church, this is what I'm going to do,
Yeah.
even though he knows inside that the marriage is dead, and he knows inside that that's his soulmate. She's the right one. She's the one he should have waited for. He knows that.
Yeah.
So that's where
Well,
the
you
back.
know what I find, what I found a little bit different about this whole scenario is that he didn't hide the fact that he was married. Number one, because we have society's view of men who are successful, who are good looking, who hold a place in society, as something is wrong with them if by 40 they're not married, or they might not like women, or
Mhm,
they have a thing against black women, or they prefer different race, or there's so many things that play into this story. But the
mhm.
fact of the matter is that he really does have the truth laid out on the table before him, where he has a dilemma. He has a dilemma. I mean, he chooses what he chooses, and he's open about his situation.
Mhm.
And but yet and still he has this commitment that he can't let go of. And the reason I say that, because this is a true life event for so many people. Now I will tell you this is definitely from a man's perspective, because there are women sitting back in their seat right now saying, okay, well, what did he do to make her like that?
Right, right.
When they got married, I'm sure she wasn't like that, so what did he do to make her like that? So you're going to have to get the book, everybody, to kind of put these pieces together. But just to give you the woman's point of view, there's some fault that lay with him as well, and maybe the wife becoming the way that she became.
Right. Now the thing is, and I know this from personal experience, a lot of the time you okay, I I won't say you, I would be so focused that all the red flags that are popping up, you're like, those aren't red flags. That's fireworks. That's what this is, right? So yeah, there were tons of red flags, like, don't do this, don't do that. No, that's not what it is. She's the one. She's great. But like, and I'm pretty sure she's not watching, so I should be good. The wife, the wife in Urban Contemporary, that was my high school sweetheart. Um, she wasn't. I lost my whole train of thought. Anyway, she,
That's okay.
um, she, yeah, there were definitely red flags, but I was so enamored. That's what it was. Like, I'm found my train. Um, that I didn't believe in me. So Chuck didn't really believe in himself. I mean, he knew he was good at his job, and he knew he was a good person, and this, that, and the other. But my ex kept the stereotype going of how bad of a person I was. So
Okay.
his wife, behind closed doors, of course, well, you're not this and you're not that. And nobody cares about what you do, and this, that, and the other. So she's the closest person to him. So of course he's like, well, she has to be right, even though
Yeah.
she wasn't. So
Yeah. Well, you wrote this book in first person slash second person, and what was the challenge for you to write this book? Because obviously you had to change some names, and keep some things, add a little bit of fiction in there with a little bit of truth as well. What was the biggest challenge for you writing this book? Because it seems like a lot of it, like you say, is depicted from true experiences in your own life.
right.
What was the biggest challenge for you, though? Because you said you wrote it some years ago and it's just now coming to fruition. Why did you hold
Right.
back on putting it out?
Well, it came out 25 years ago. It came out in
Oh,
November of 2000, but I
oh,
didn't know what to
okay.
do. I
Oh,
got
got you.
published November of 2000, but I said, okay, yeah, I wrote a book. Not sure what to do with it now. And like I said, it sat in a shoebox for the longest. And
Okay.
then I got published, and I was just like, I wrote a book, yay!
Now what?
Right, exactly. So, fast forward, and that was my claim to fame. Oh yeah, Wayne wrote a book, blah 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 blah. I sure did. Nothing else. I wanted to do more, but like I
Yeah.
said, self-esteem and life and everything else piling on top, I didn't get to do anything. And my again current publicist slash girlfriend, she's like, no, no, you can't. This can't just be on a shelf. We have to do something with this. And I'm like, well, I mean,
Okay.
people, they can get it on Amazon or whatever. She says, no, we have to get this out because people want to hear this.
Yeah.
So the biggest
It's a
challenge when
story.
I
It's a
wrote,
story. Yeah, go ahead. Please go ahead.
I was I was gonna say the biggest challenge when I wrote it was my biggest challenge at the time. I didn't know what to call it, and but it's like once I started, the story just kept pouring out. I was halfway through before I had a title.
Yeah.
And somebody I worked with said, well, what kind of, because he works in a radio station. And she said, well, what kind of radio station is it? I said, Urban Contemporary. She said, there you go. Because, I wanted to name it Happiness is a Warm Gun because I thought that was a real cool title of a Beatles song, but it had nothing to do with the book. But then I went with the other title. But yeah, once I started doing it, it was like in the movie where she was like depressed and she started writing and then it just started flowing out. That's how it was for me. And I was like, oh my God, I needed
So
this.
make the connection for me, urban contemporary, to this relationship dilemma that you wrote about.
It was basically started out as the fact that he worked at an urban contemporary radio station,
Okay.
black top 50, whatever. But it was definitely urban because I wanted it to be not like ghetto. It was just big city. It was a big city thing. So it was like he's a celebrity. He's in this big city and where things are moving like this at all times. But
Yeah.
inside, I guess that's where the contemporary part comes in. Inside,
Okay.
he wants what he wants. He wants something simple. He wants to be in love, and he wants that person to love him back.
Yeah.
That was a big deal.
Martina says there are two sides to every story and adventures that life throws at individuals. Couldn't agree with you more. Oh, that's Martha. Sorry, not Martina, but Martha. That's absolutely correct. And we all have stories, actually, don't we? We all have stories that we could tell that are probably quite similar, but interesting to hear the details of other individuals' stories. So let me ask you this then, Wayne. Do you think that love and happiness, um, we think it comes to us when we get married and we're in love and everything, but is it love and happiness? Is it something that we find, or is it something that we create?
That's an excellent question. I and this is a Wayneism. I always believe that your person is there, your person is out there, and you're very blessed if you find that person. Problem is, you try. Well, again with I tried to make everybody that I was with or whatever that person. Oh, this is the one. She's the one. 10th grade. Oh yeah, I'm marrying her. I did. And we see where that went. And then okay. The problem was before I got married, the Roxanne character I moved to Washington D.C., which is why I
Hmm.
had it um, based there. I met her, and
Okay.
I wound up writing a book about her after I moved back to Ohio.
Hmm.
And for 30 something years, it was like I'm going through. I've been married twice,
Hmm.
never to Roxanne, but I've been married twice, and a lot of this is coming out in the new book, the sequel. Um,
Hmm.
it's called Urban Contemporary Chasing the Ghost. And the ghost, when I first started writing it, I thought the ghost was the my last marriage, which went 30 years. And then
Okay.
she decided she was out.
Huh.
So I thought the ghost that I was chasing was that marriage.
Uh-huh.
And shadow work and all of that has to go into writing this. Come to find out, the ghost was Roxanne.
Got you.
And I was chasing her through all these other relationships.
Uh-huh.
So
Okay.
that's how that came about. But
That
yeah,
that that's actually interesting. Got a couple questions. Lisa says you're awesome.
I
Lisa
know
Sparrow,
her.
thank you for your input. Martha said she just added the book to Kindle. Jonathan says, ask you how you met Lisa.
Oh, well, did you interview Mark Cummings?
I did. Our Mark is a good friend of mine.
Okay. So I was asked to run sound on his last movie, When Three Become One.
Uh-huh.
And um my friend knew Mark, and I was like, Oz, I don't know how to do sound. He said, don't worry about it, I'll teach you. And I wasn't going to do it. I was
Uh-huh.
depressed and separated and all that. And I was like, I don't want to do this, but I don't have anything else to do this summer. Fine, I'll run sound. And
Mm-hmm.
the entire summer, I I was running sound, and I Lisa was the clacker girl. She was a PA, a production assistant, but she did the clacker. So that's what I always called her, Lisa the clacker girl. And one day we were, we finished a scene, so we're moving all the equipment. And as we're heading, this woman walks by me wearing scrubs like a nurse.
Okay.
And Oz is the guy who got me into the movie. And we
Yeah.
were moving equipment, and I said, Oz, who's that? He said, oh, that's Lisa. I'm like, Lisa who? He said, Lisa, the clacker. I'm like, no, her in the blue. And he said, that's Lisa. I said, that's not Lisa. I don't know who that is. No, he said, Wayne, that's Lisa. So I I was enamored, to say the least. And I was taking selfies with her, but it's funny, she's smiling. And in those first date pictures, all of my face is going, because I'm like, and we spent the entire summer together. And after no, before we wrapped the movie, I was Oz called me and said, hey, Lisa thinks you're cute. I'm like, who? Lisa, the clacker. So,
Lisa the Clacker.
and it pretty much went from there.
That's amazing. Good group of people, by the way. Anybody that's a friend of Mark's is a friend of mine. Obviously, Mark is. I went down to Columbus to see his movie, and had been,
Mhm.
in his circle. He's been in my circle ever since. He's a beautiful family, and he's a super, super talented person in that movie. I urge everyone to go see that movie. If you can go ahead and go download. I think it's on Prime now, if I'm not mistaken. It was. Yeah. Okay. So it's When Three Become One, you guys, and not only does he direct it, he acts in it. He's the bad guy. Just to let you know. Really good show. So let me
Lisa
ask you
and I
this, then
are in
back
it
to
too.
this book because, huh?
I said Lisa and I are in it too. Lisa plays a nurse, and I play helpful citizen number two.
Oh, that's right. No, I made the connection now.
And my car is in
Sure
it more than
enough.
mine. So yeah,
Yes. Okay. Now, see, you're gonna make me go back and watch the movie just, just for
it'll
that.
be there too. It's gonna be just like that.
That's absolutely amazing. So back to this book. Do you think there'll come a time when maybe you'll put this book to a movie production? Maybe.
Yes, that's part of what I'm working on now. I'm working on the sequel,
Okay.
working on another follow-up book, and then the screenplay.
That is now. Are you going to collaborate with Mark on that?
I certainly hope so.
I certainly hope so. Also, this is going to be one heck of a movie because already the story, plot twist to this book obviously is going to be one that's going to grab. So, of this book, then the movie is a whole different thing that will be coming in the future. But what do you want your readers to take away from this book?
The takeaway is You have to listen to your gut. Do you if you're not happy, acknowledge it. Pretending that you're happy doesn't work, and it could wind up making you sick. But you can't make anybody, people always tell me you can't make anybody else happy if you're not happy.
It's true.
Right there.
Did we get
But
did-
yeah, make yourself happy so you can don't don't neglect you. I'll go with that. Don't neglect yourself because your happiness is just as important as everybody else's.
that's very, very true. And the fact that you gave the healing process some time to work, even though it may not have worked out, you actually gave it that opportunity, because all too often folks get up into relationships for years, many, many years and decades sometime, and they kind of just exist in that relationship. But they also never acknowledge that maybe something of a different alternative needs to happen.
Right.
So especially if there are kids involved, we understand why people get stuck in relationships for family's sake and for kids' sake and so forth. But I hope in the book, I'm happy, and I don't know, and I won't give the spoiler by saying he does or he doesn't find his person for sure, or if he stays in his current marriage for sure. I'm not going to give that spoiler. You all have to go get the book and find out yourself. Okay,
Yeah.
what does he do? What does Chuck DeVille do? Does he stay or does he go? Door number one or door number two? You have to
Right.
find that out yourself by going to get the book, guys. Where can they find the book, Wayne?
It's on Amazon. That's who's published it. That's my current publisher. Amazon.com. If you go to WR Franklin Media, wrfranklinmedia.weebly.com is my website, and there's links on the website. But yeah, if you put it in on Amazon, or if you look me up on social media, WR Franklin, there are links all through there.
Okay, awesome. Would you like to give some closing shout outs?
Yes. I'd like to give a shout out to Lisa Sparrow. It's her birthday today.
Lisa the
And
Clapper.
Lisa the Clacker Girl. And shouting out her books that are also available on Amazon.
Okay.
And Mark Cummings, thank you
Mhm.
for providing that platform for me to get further out here and to meet her. And then thank you to Oz Leon and IML Productions. He's the reason I even went to do the movie. And if I hadn't done that, again, I wouldn't have met Lisa. But yeah, just yes, check the book out. Urban Contemporary. It's a quick read, and and it is available on Kindle or on, you can get the physical copy. What? What? Oh, I forgot about the shirt too. I got
Oh, you
that.
got the shirt too. Okay, way to go on marketing there, sir. Good job. Well, listen, you know what? We definitely don't want to go. We're at the 6:29 now. It is a half an hour show. Want to give J. Cole a shout out to Jonathan Coleman, who's a whirlwind all by himself. Trust me. He's my guy. He's been on deck with me for almost a year now, really over than that, because he's also promoted and worked with me with Glass City Talent and a couple of my artists, musician artists as well. So shout out J. Cole to you. Appreciate you, love. Thank you all for tuning in. Make sure you go check out the book Urban Contemporary by Wayne or W.R. Franklin. It's not going to be Wayne, W.R. Franklin. Go check it out. Get yourself a good read. Upload it on Kindle. If you stay on your computer, stuck to your computer like I do, upload it on Kindle. It's a good read in your spare time. And then you can make decisions on this outcome for yourself one way or the other. And Amazon does allow you to leave comments. So by all means, do go in and give two 5-star, 5 thumbs up, 2 thumbs up, 5 stars to the
I'll
book.
take five thumbs
I
too.
think we only have 2 thumbs, not 5 thumbs.
Let me
So
get other people to stick their thumbs in. That's fine. I'm good with that.
There you go. Just make sure you go and support you guys. We actually want to support each other in all the endeavors, the individual collaborative, however we do it, support one another. Shout out to Mark Cummings also for being on my show before, also being a good friend and supporting this gentleman in his endeavors as well. So until next week, guys, we want to say take care, guys. We got storms coming through. We want you all to be safe. We want to see you all next Thursday for another great edition of Toledo to the World with DebraSue. Hope to see you all next Thursday at 6 o'clock. And Wayne, thank you so much for joining me on my platform. And we will be in touch. I'm going to schedule you again for your next book.
I'm good with that.
Okay. All right. You take care. Thank you now. Bye, everybody. Have a good one. Bye bye.